Shock the system. Bulletcast for life.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bulletcast. We are the #1 sports and recreational podcast in the world. I'm your host. I'm the Podfather. Yes, I am the reigning, defending Bulletcast champion, just like Roddy Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Adam Cole, baby. This title reign is hashtag forever undisputed. For life, brother. 32 days as the greatest podcast champion of all time. I'm in my third reign. And a man next to me, he's been a former Bulletcast champion before. Didn't hold it for that long, but, may never actually hold it again. He's a one-timer, like a Psycho Sid or maybe even a Jinder Mahal. Mex Mendoza, how's it going, buddy?
Go to hell.
And a man next to me, he is the host of the award-winning Under the Radar podcast. He is the creator of Curveballs and Chair Shots, the first ever and 3-time Bulletcast champion. He hates you from Toronto, Ontario, Saskatchewan, Vancouver, British Columbia. He is the Canadian Destroyer, Brandon. How's it going there, buddy?
It's going great. It's been a while since I've been on the main show. I took a week off.
The main show, yes, you're right.
I had to recover from New Year's festivities.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh. You were you big dogging?
Oh, big dogging all over the place.
Hey. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get into this performance-enhancing audio. Episode 102. This is amazing. I got some changes coming to the podcast in 2019. We're going to be doing some giveaways. The first item I want to give away is a signed poster by some of the top talent in wrestling today. And one of the people who has signed this poster is Elite. Speaking of Elite, let's talk about All Elite Wrestling. AEW, the Double or Nothing rally that happened yesterday in Jacksonville, Florida. So the logo was released to us January 1st, the AEW logo, and then also the Double or Nothing logo. So, guys, I mean, first of all, let's talk about that episode of Being the Elite when we get word of the official announcement. What were you guys' thoughts?
Nice segue, by the way. But,
they call me the Segue King, just saying.
Nah, can't top Wrestle Talk. But
wow.
Anyways, shut up, guys, from Wrestle Talk.
Trash. Keep going.
Alright. Anyways, it was interesting, because, I was just getting notifications at work yesterday, and it was just, live stream of Jacksonville, and then...
You're jumping ahead. We're just talking about...
Being the Elite episode, yeah.
Don't get ahead of yourself there, buddy.
But they did the contract signings on the episode, which was pretty awesome.
We'll talk about the 2 episodes of Being the Elite.
Yeah.
We won't talk about the rally right now.
Yeah, we're going to get into the rally.
Just the Being the Elite episodes.
All right.
The logo debut.
Just AEW.
It was cool.
AEW as a whole being announced.
Well, you're talking about when they were in front of the dome?
Yeah.
That, when they... Okay.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. The 3 phones in the bottom, and then Hangman Page showing the logo.
Honestly, when he said his was different, I'm like, NXT or WWE? I thought that for a second.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
He's
like, I'm leaving ROH the same time the Bucks and Cody are.
I know, but he said his was different. I'm like, oh, what other promotion is he going to go to?
His was bigger.
His was bigger. Because he's the most hung man in professional wrestling.
Apparently, yeah.
Yes.
But not according to Marty, though. Episode. His New Year's party.
So, Brandon, what were your thoughts on
Well, I mean, we've been talking about this for, I don't know, it feels like at least 2 months now about all this stuff. So everything kind of came to fruition. Double or Nothing was one of the trademarks they filed. So with it coming out that they are starting their own promotion, it was exciting. And I think the rally kind of cemented that and put a lot of things in motion. Some things we already knew, some things we didn't know. So let's talk about that.
Yes.
Segue.
Yes. Let's talk about the rally. So, here, let me go to that file on the phone. So the rallies in Jacksonville. Conrad Thompson. Hey now. Hey, it's Conrad. Host of Something Else to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard.
It's Something to Wrestle with. 83 weeks.
83 weeks.
Former with Ric Flair that fizzled out, and I don't know how long that lasted.
Yeah, that was an interesting podcast. I listened to it. He sells mortgages. He was one of the leading heads of StarCast, that convention that happened All In weekend, and so I don't know exactly what's his official role in AEW, but apparently he's on board. He's all in with those boys.
If he's an on-air talent, just strictly that, or if maybe he can be a financial advisor to help him out with that. I think that'd be fun to see Conrad, someone who's really blossomed the last few years with his podcasts, and he's one of the most over people in the wrestling entertainment world. So it's fun to see him. I don't know how he would do as an announcer. I think maybe more of a backstage announcer would probably be better. Maybe not as a play-by-play or color guy. Hopefully they can get somebody, in that role, because for All In they used ROH guys, which obviously they're probably not. Well, they used ROH, PWG. They kind of just put everybody. They put everybody together in one. But I think for this Double or Nothing show, it's going to be it's going to be their own people. So we're going to see who exactly they feel they want to run with as a.
So you can keep going.
I'm done.
Oh, you're done. Okay.
As announcers.
As announcers, yeah. So what we know from the what's been posted on Twitter before the rally, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, Mrs. Matt, Matt Jackson's wife, Hangman Page, and Cody and Brandy Rhodes all signed contracts with AEW. Brandy being the chief brand officer.
5-year contracts.
5-year contracts.
Officer.
Oh yes, let's get that pro wrestling tease. Let's make that a shirt. Let's make it happen.
That pun was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. And then so at the rally we get official announcements of Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, SCU, joining All Elite Wrestling. They will be out here in the Bay. Was it March 1st for All Pro Wrestling? So I'm looking forward to that show. As I said, Conrad Thompson. And then one that I was really hoping would get signed is MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And his little banter with... actually, it wasn't even a banter. He was just bullying Conrad during the rally. What'd you guys think of that? Maxwell Jacob Friedman's promo.
I thought it was good. He's kind of the clear heel right now in the group. I didn't know a lot about him until he came up to All In. I kind of learned a little bit more about him. I think he's a good young talent.
He's only 22.
What are we doing?
He's younger than the Velveteen Dream.
And it seems as though he lives the gimmick, and if you're out in public and you confront him, he'll just be a total a-hole to you.
Yeah.
So, shout out to MJF, especially with this type of promotion. It's going to be interesting to see how the face-heel dynamic works out. And I think right now he's the only true heel in the company.
Yeah, he was getting legit boos. I enjoyed it. He called Conrad Thompson turkey tits. I'm like, oh my god.
You're gonna have to use that one.
He's really just going for it, man.
I don't think I watched that part.
You didn't watch? I watched the whole rally thanks to being the elite.
I was driving on the freeway, but good stuff.
All right, Britt Baker. She's the girlfriend of Adam Cole, baby.
Adam Cole's baby.
Yes, Doctor Britt Baker.
DDS.
DDS. Yes.
Really?
Yes. She's a very intelligent young woman. She competed in the Women's Fatal 4-Way All In. I was glad to see that she got signed there. And Brandy made a point of it at the rally that equal pay for the women. They're going to get equal pay as incoming men's talent, that's a big coup de grace.
Which I'm kind of interested to see how exactly that works, because, obviously the women right now coming in aren't going to be main event level talent. So does that mean that they get paid the same as, say, MJF or some other mid-card talent? Because obviously, when you say they're going to have to get paid the same amount as the men, your first thought is okay, everyone's just going to get paid equally, like it's to be frank, like communism, everybody just gets the same. But I feel it's good move by them to kind of announce this. And they also announced, Matt was like, it doesn't matter, race, religion, sexual orientation, whatever, as long as you're elite, you're welcome here, which obviously is should happen.
So are we welcome there?
I don't know.
As
long as Reno Scum's not there, and BTW's not a part of it,
oh,
and some other people that we have heat with, as long as they're not a part of it, I think we're good.
Hey, Reno Scum and I, we're cool. Oi.
What do you got against Reno Scum?
It's a long story.
It's a long. You would have had to been there.
Well, I've already told on the podcast 3 times.
Yeah,
but maybe a 4th time.
No,
it's a charm.
No. We don't want that kind of heat.
5 times.
We don't want Vince Russo nuclear heat. We don't want that. So yeah, they said they're gonna have a strong women's division, which I'm really looking forward to who they're gonna sign. In a little bit, we're gonna talk about some of the names we want to see signed with AEW that haven't been already. Also, Joey Janela and Penelope Ford are going to be joining AEW. That's really cool. Joey Janela's been out with an injury, and he puts on Joey Janela spring break every WrestleMania weekend or whatever. He did what Joey Janela lost in New York, so he's had the promoter aspect for a little bit now, so maybe he can add some insights into what Cody and the Bucks are going to be doing moving forward with this company.
Yeah, like Joey Janela, one of those other guys that I learned from him during WrestleMania weekend, and he had the All-In match. Obviously, he has his knee injury, right? And he's going to be gone for at least past WrestleMania weekend, so it doesn't look... He might be on Double or Nothing, not exactly sure, but maybe he might be on that second show in Jacksonville. Who knows, maybe even longer than that, because it's a pretty gruesome injury that he had.
Yeah. And then, so Hangman Page makes his way out there. Cody Rhodes has called him the future of professional wrestling, which Hangman, he's like, what, 26, 27? So he
was a teacher.
Yeah, he was. He has a nice little career ahead of him. So he's talking about being the first ever AEW heavyweight champion. And then who shows up? Pac, the former king of the cruiserweights, shows up.
The Gates of Dragons open.
Yeah, with the was that the Dragon Gate heavyweight title that he had?
Dragon Dream title, something. It's something with a dream.
A secondary title, I guess. Anyway,
Pac shows up. Calling a universal title.
So I guess that's a confirmed match for Double or Nothing, Pac versus Hangman. And there were speculations of who are they gonna get, and I was like, oh, Neville's free, well, grab him, and they did, and so
it's Pac, my friend.
Pac, sorry,
not Neville. Who's Neville?
It's gonna be interesting to see. You think they can grab real one?
The funny thing is, if you guys go on Instagram, you see Marty posting about it.
Yeah, he was like, "What the f is
new
AEW?
British friend?"
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting.
Pac being there is probably the most surprising thing to me, because almost everything else they announced on the show, except for Joey Janela or the Chinese people, those are a little surprised. But I think having them, maybe not signing Pac, but at least getting him on this Double or Nothing show seems as though it's a big move for him. Pac is one of the biggest indie guys out there, I think, right now. So getting him, they wanted him at All In, they weren't able to, so now getting him second time around is a good move by them.
All right, and the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla, Y2J, Chris Jericho, Lionheart, he's officially signed to AEW. Jericho's made a career of doing things his own way and surprising people. And honestly, I thought he was going to pull another All-In stunt where he makes a surprise appearance at Double or Nothing. I thought that's what he was going to do, but him just showing up at the press conference.
At this point, do you think Y2J showing up in a wrestling promotion is surprising?
It depends on what promotion. If he showed up in Impact, I'd be like, Y2J in Impact? All right, I must watch this product now.
Would you pop for it? Is that my question?
Y2J at Women's of Wrestling.
Y2J and Shimmer.
Coming out on Access, I believe, in next few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what promotion it is. If Jericho showed up in Lucha Underground whenever that starts up again, I'd be like, oh my god, what the hell is he doing there? But Jericho, that's a big legendary name for them to get, so it's going to be interesting to see. And plus, I think a lot of people who are going to really help with AEW are going to be kind of the people that were in Cody's corner when he won the NWA title, your Dallas Pages and what was
Tommy Dreamer.
Tommy Dreamer, was Glacier with him, or
I don't know. I mean, when you think of people who are going to help a promotion, Glacier, top of the list.
Top of the list, man. Yeah. No, but I think one of the people who can really help creatively is Jake Roberts, because he has such a great mind for the business.
I can't believe you haven't talked about this huge news, but the first and only backstage producer for AEW, Billy Gunn. Road Dogg's over on Smackdown, now Billy Gunn's on AEW.
Oh, that's
New Age Outlaws taking over the wrestling world.
They are. This is a new age of the Outlaws.
Mm-hmm.
Heyo. Yeah, but like I said, I'd love to see Jake Roberts because he has such a great mind for the industry. But the really big news, the All-In 2 Double or Nothing, MGM Grand, May 25th, Las Vegas. We going, boys?
I could go gambling.
I'm telling you right now, I will be going to Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
May 25th is the first weekend after the spring semester is over. So right after school, hopping on a plane, going to Vegas. Don't exactly know all the plans yet, but I will be going, especially since StarCast will be there as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a little mini WrestleMania.
I don't know, probably get some interviews. I missed the first All-In. It still rocks me to my very core. I'm going Double or Nothing with these boys. I will be at All-In too.
I'll be at the strip club over there, but yeah, I'll be there too.
Go to Mayweather Strip Club?
Sure, why not?
You gotta go high end. We can't go to those,
I want to ask Mayweather about him knocking out that Japanese dude.
Really? All right, guys.
Mendoza at the Spearman Rhino?
Yes. All right, guys, let's talk about some of the talents we want to see sign with AEW.
Goldberg.
Wow.
Goldberg.
No, not Goldberg. I mean, he's been rumored to be linked with it just because he followed them on Twitter, which doesn't really make any sense. But, I mean, Jim Ross is another person who has been linked with them, and I think he's still currently under contract with WWE. So if he were to go over there, and I talked about maybe someone to get an announcer role, to be honest, maybe Jim Ross wouldn't be my first pick just because what I've seen with him on New Japan. It's good, but it's just not the same Jim Ross we've seen the last 20 years. He is a little older, so he doesn't have the same energy that he used to. So maybe you can have Jim Ross come in at the beginning and then phase him out, have a younger guy come in, but still have Jim Ross back there in a talent role.
Yes. I made a list because, I'm a fan of lists. Jericho's list, Cody's list when he first left WWE. So... Should I just read them off?
Just say one at a time. We can dissect them.
All right. So, they're not really any specific order, but I'll just go Pentagon. Pentagon. He's a great talent. We've seen him live at All Pro Wrestling. I don't like that. There's a babyface Pentagon and like Lucha Underground, then like a heel Pentagon and Impact. I want to see one version of Pentagon, and I want that version of Pentagon to be in AEW. Thoughts? Comments?
Nah, I think TNA signed them up for like a contract for like another 2 years or something like that.
We'll see.
Same with Phoenix.
We'll see.
Lucha Brothers, whatever.
I mean, they're good talent. Promos aren't exactly there, especially for Pentagon, because apparently he doesn't speak English. But
Cero Miedo.
But whatever. I mean, they're good wrestlers.
He doesn't speak English?
That's what people say. Apparently, it's only
Dude, I've heard him at APW. He speaks pretty good English.
Well, it's only when it's helpful to him to not speak English.
It's probably the Shinsuke Nakamura treatment. It's like, I don't understand you.
All right. So the Revival. They could revive their careers by going to AEW, and we get that Young Bucks versus Revival match that we've always wanted ever since the FTR movement started a few years back.
Which we saw, was it Dash wearing it on his tights this week? Somebody was wearing FTR on their tights this week.
Yeah.
But anyways, I do think the Revival are one of those names that is a realistic possibility for them to jump from WWE to AEW. As you said, the Young Buck Revival feud's been going on for years now, and if they do, that can main event one of the pay-per-views right there. So right now we're thinking of like big name matches that they can have at these shows. They don't have TV deals coming in place, so they just need to be like these super indie shows like All In was. And I think if you have Revival coming in one of their first indie dates, or their first, just showing up at AEW, I think that could be a big name. Big get for them.
Well, there's their contracts up.
Who knows?
I don't know.
That's why we're just
throwing names out there.
Give it another year or two.
Yeah. All right. Tessa Blanchard. She has the legacy factor. She's all right in the ring. I mean, she's really coming to her own with that heel persona and Impact. She just lost the Knockouts title at what was it? Homecoming. That TNA pay-per-view that happened this past weekend. Actually caught the end of it with Cage and Johnny Impact.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean Tessa Blanchard. I really enjoy her work. She's the Charlotte of the indie scene, you could say. So I'd like to see what she can do with AEW in this strong women's division that they're trying to build. Put her at the forefront of it.
You go.
I mean, it seems interesting choice. I mean, that TNA pay-per-view wasn't it's TNA.
It's
Impact.
My bad.
Which they're moving to the Pursuit channel this week.
Where Raven's at, apparently.
I saw that finally.
Wow. Took you like about 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think she'll have a better career in AEW. I mean, it seems like everybody is. I bet you the women's division over there is going to be lit.
As the kids say.
Yes, as the kids say.
Yeah, she's a good talent. I think she's probably the biggest women's name on the indie scene right now. I think if her contract ever does run up with Impact, I do think WWE will be calling. I don't think she'll go to AEW. I mean, she went to All In, but she already had one run in WWE. I think if she gets her act together, because I think she had some attitude problems, which which hindered her from going to WWE. It would be fun, just throwing these names out there. And obviously, everybody we'd love to come to AEW just to see what they can do. But being realistic, I think Tessa Blanchard is going to go to WWE after her contract runs out.
But to see women, the women division in AEW to be strong, it's going to be tough because, like...
I mean, we've seen ROH has a women's division, and it hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah, because WWE, the Mae Young Classic, they picked up everybody that has a big name. Basically, they just signed them up.
I mean, Woman of Honor, they do have some good names. I mean, they have, like, Tennille Dashwood, a.k.a. Emma. You know, they have, like, names there, and they have good workers. It's just nothing's being done with the division.
See, this is kind of the things with AEW is you think about it, a lot of the big name talents are going to NXT or they're with New Japan or with ROH. So how many realistic like big name free agents are there for AEW to go out there? So what they have to do is they have to find younger people who are out there on the indie scene, like people from APW. You have to find those people that nobody knows about and kind of crop them up. Maybe they're not ready yet.
Scoop Jacob Fatu. Get a Uso in the promotion. That'd be nice. But next up on my list, I believe I had Shane Strickland. He's former Evolve champion. I think he may have been the Defy champion over in that promotion in I think it was at Washington. I really like his stuff. He has a calm, cool, collected feel about him. Plus, what's his entrance music? It's like Aretha, not Aretha Franklin. It's Shaka Khan. It's just like he has a nice, smooth feel about him. And I've seen his matches with guys like Cody Rhodes and other top talents that have been on the indies. I like his work. I like his work ethic, and I think he'd be a nice asset to AEW.
Being honest, I don't know a whole much about him, but if he has some credibility and he's had a history, right now I think AEW shouldn't be hoarding talent, but just take up all the big names they can get.
Yeah. All right, next up is somebody who hasn't really been wrestling a whole lot as of recent, and that is Taylor Hendricks.
I thought you were going to say David Arquette.
Oh, God. That really got, like, a piece of glass sharded to, like, his neck or something like that?
Yeah, that was not pretty. Taylor Hendricks, she had a nice little run with the House of Truth.
Taylor Hendricks, #1 fan right here.
Oh, of course. She follows me on Twitter personally. She follows Bulletcast on Twitter, so shout out Taylor. No, but seriously, I enjoyed her work when she was with the House.
Shoot, baby.
I enjoyed her work when she was with the House of Truth. She was playing a sexy dark vixen character, and that was enjoyable to watch. She has a decent tombstone pile driver, so get a little wicked and throw that into AEW. Get characters of all sorts. Get the serious badass characters. Get the ones that are kind of creepy and kind of weird, and get just the plain white meat baby faces. Get all these different types of characters in AEW, and she's one of them. Any thoughts on Miss Hendricks?
I've never heard of her, but I should check her out.
Should.
I mean, honestly, the only way I've heard of her is you talking about her all the time. I've seen some of her work. She's good. Obviously, maybe not the top tier of women wrestlers out there compared to like a Tessa Blanchard or someone over in Japan. She's good. Maybe a good character villain to go up against some of these other women. So it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. So AEW, they got Joey Janela and Penelope Ford, a nice little power couple. Let's get another one. Let's get Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis in AEW. I mean, Mike Bennett, he joins in 2017 WWE main roster, hasn't really done much, but he's been sitting in the back eating catering for God knows how long, and then he's finally been put on 205 Live. Cody Rhodes has changed the game of leaving WWE and taking a bet on yourself. Bennett was already a nice, successful act on the indie scene with Ring of Honor and the Kingdom with Matt Taven and all that other stuff. If he does feel like it's time for him to leave, he could possibly go to AEW and take Maria with him.
I think it'd be Maria taking Mike with him. Because let's be honest, Maria is the bigger star. Maria is, when people think about the combo, think about Maria first. And I've seen...
Think about Mike first.
I mean, Mike he's a fine wrestler.
Sorry.
He had good matches over in New Japan. But, I mean, as a tag team, he's fine. He might be, someone who's better fit for a tag team than a singles run. I just haven't really seen him, be that kind of character and drive him. I mean, Maria, with him having Maria by his side, she can cut promos and then they can have a nice little connection there. But I don't know about him being a singles act. I mean, you can put him in there. You can have a nice mixed tag with, Janela and Ford. But if I'm going to see someone leave 205 Live, honestly, I would want to see Kenta leave to go to AEW. Because, I mean, we keep forgetting that Hideo Itami is even in 205 Live, and he's been coming and going, and
I forgot he was employed.
He was like exactly. He's one of the hottest Japanese people like 4 or 5 years ago, and he's just obviously injuries have derailed him, but he's just been completely lost in the shuffle. There's other people out there in the scene like Almas. We can get into him, but he finally gets a win. But I think Almas is another person who should just cut bait with WWE and go to the independent scene.
El Idolo. Yeah. So this next one, this is the last one on my list. We're gonna have to break up the bar. I'm sorry, guys. I think Claudio Castagnoli in AEW could spice things up. I mean, he hasn't been able to grab the quote-unquote brass rings that Vince always talks about, so they put him in a tag team with Sheamus. They've been very successful with like 4 or 5-time tag team champions. That's
for the last, how many years?
Since the end of 2016. They ended the New Day's long reign with the tag titles. That's all great, but Sheamus, he'll be fine on his own. He's a couple-time world champion. He'll survive. Cesaro on the indie scene in AEW, tearing it up with Hangman Page and tearing it up with Pac. That stuff like that. That'd be very interesting to see.
I can see Cesaro because Cesaro's had the history of him in ROH and seeing stuff that he's done. Sheamus, I don't exactly know what he would do in the indie scene. I mean, obviously he was over there in Europe before he got signed to WWE, so it'd be interesting to see what Sheamus can do when when the reins are off, and he can kind of be like a Drew McIntyre, someone who you just kind of know for being in WWE and going out there and having kick-ass matches. But I mean, I just see them kind of both as WWE lifers right now. I mean, I think honestly, Cesaro is more likely to jump ship just because he has a history, and I think he knows that he can survive outside. Sheamus, I don't know if he would.
Probably like a Jack Swagger.
But I mean,
Jake Strong.
Well, I mean,
Jake Strong.
Jack Swagger left, and he said he was going to tear it up, and I haven't heard anything from him since
Lucha Underground champion.
I mean, Sheamus will be the same. Probably, I can see that happening.
Yeah. So
I didn't even know Jack Swagger was on Lucha Underground.
Jake
to be honest.
Strong.
Whatever.
Wow, he gave us a drop, man. Don't treat that man that way.
It's no Zack Sabre Jr. drop.
It is no Zack Sabre Jr. Oh God. Shout out to Zack Sabre Jr. They call me Black Sabre Jr.
Okay.
All right.
Not touching that.
Hey. All right. So moving on from that, in a more serious note, Toni Storm, winner of the Mae Young Classic, she has been the latest victim of the hack and leaks of women in professional wrestling. The hashtag We Support Toni Storm has been trending all over Twitter and Instagram and all other forms of social media. Toni Storm has even gone and deleted her social media because of the heinous words that have been spewed about her during this difficult time in her life. So, what are your guys' thoughts on this?
I mean, don't hack people's iCloud account. Pretty simple.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation. It's a tough subject to talk about. I mean, people have their own personal lives, and then they send things, and they have their own things on their phone. But like, her boyfriend tweeted, "Just let it be. Like, stop tweeting it. Like, don't make it a big thing. Just let it go." That's what her boyfriend tweeted out. But there's also a lot of support for her too. Paige spoke to her long
Paige
tweet.
is the most famous victim of this.
Yeah.
And she has a match on Saturday.
Oh, does she really?
Yeah, NXT UK Takeover, Blackpool.
Oh,
her and Rhea Ripley.
That is this Saturday. Go check that out, guys.
I'll be honest, I have not watched a single episode of NXT UK. I have to check it out.
I will be watching this Takeover.
Can't wait for NXT Japan to come out.
No, but yeah, Toni Storm, this is a really difficult thing that you have to go through. We hope that you recover from this in the best possible way.
I mean, she's not the only public figure who has been hacked.
No, yeah, absolutely.
She won't be the last or the first.
People were saying it hurts her more because of her age or something. I don't know, but anyway, seriously, we got to stop hacking iClouds, guys. It's not cool. Let people have their personal lives, especially public figures. All right, moving on from that, Kushida and Kenny Omega announced that they are leaving NJPW. So,
it's been rumored for a long time, and it seems to be coming to fruition.
Kushida, what are your thoughts? Where does he go?
He's going to NXT.
Yeah, everyone's saying he's going to WWE. I don't see why he would. I mean, Kushida's kind of one of those guys, almost kind of like Nakamura, to where he just did so. He's been in New Japan for so long, you can't really see him doing anything else, especially with him being a junior guy, so he's kind of pigeonholed into that.
Apparently, Triple H is very high on him. Like,
Hunter's high on a lot of guys.
I mean, Kushida, like, one of the most underrated, I think, wrestlers, just in general right now.
I love that intro. Just the little drum beat. Dun, dun, dun. And just like, I just get hyped when I see Kushida come out. Time splitter.
I mean, if he goes to NXT, I think he'll have success, and then...
But
if he goes to the main roster, I don't think he's going to do anything. I just think he's going to be pigeonholed to 205 Live. And if he is in if he is in the main roster, I mean, how long until Vince gets bored with him, like Mustafa Ali, and he gets a win or two there, and then he's just in tag matches.
But like the real question over Kushida is, what's his gimmick going to be? Because it's like Back to the Future in Japan, and like copyrights and stuff like that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, maybe they can talk to something with NBC and Universal, and maybe they can work something out to where he gets like an official Back to the Future gimmick. Comes out and, I don't know, a DeLorean at WrestleMania, just go balls out.
In Japan.
Yeah, you know, Rusev had a tank. He can have a DeLorean.
Hey, but DeLoreans are very rare and very expensive.
Yes. Our good buddy Thomas Lothian wants to buy a DeLorean.
Oh, yeah, shut up, Tom.
Yes. All right, now let's talk about Kenny Omega. He's about to become the hottest free agent in wrestling. Does he go with his buddies in the Elite? Does he continue that? Or does he come over to the big ship?
So, when's the Rumble?
27th.
Of this month?
Yes.
No, it's in March.
So, and he's free after the 31st. I don't think he's going to WWE.
He won't be in the Rumble.
Yeah.
That's. I already knew he wouldn't be in the Rumble.
A lot of people were like, "Oh, he's gonna be in the Rumble."
No.
It's hard to think about it, because like, if WWE is like super trying, like they're really trying to get him, wouldn't they push this guy to the sky, right?
I mean, they were eager to get AJ, and like he got pushed, but it wasn't. He didn't like win the title on his first night. It was no
he lost to Jericho at WrestleMania.
Yeah. You know.
But like the whole thing with Kenny is like he wants to wrestle AJ Styles at Mania.
That can happen. What his contract's up in the what?
He's 35. If he signs a 5-year contract, which obviously I don't know if they're just giving 5-year contracts to everybody.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's 35. He signs a 5-year. Obviously, he's 40, which is the same age as AJ. But then AJ's 40 something, and it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah. So I look at it like this. Kenny, he's 35. He can have the match with AJ this year. That's a possibility. You know, Kenny could be the secret weapon of Vince McMahon to get back at AJ for punching him in the face. Something like that. Look, Kenny's not getting any younger. Come over here, sign like a 3 or 4 year deal.
Also, like a 2-3 year deal. And then have him booked strong, but like...
Cause, I mean, look, like, you should want Kenny Omega to go to WWE. You should want him to. AJ Styles, Finn Balor, Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins. Hell, I want to see Kenny Omega versus Buddy Murphy. I want to see Kenny Omega versus Cedric Alexander. There are all these matchups that we can see that we haven't seen before, or we haven't seen in a very, very long time.
But we said the same about Nakamura and how his Nakamura panned out.
Okay.
With AJ? Oh, yeah. We've seen that 1,000 times, and it's just always kicking the balls. I don't want to see no more kick balls.
I mean, I'm not saying Kenny's going to be like Nakamura, Nakamura, let's be honest, he's just... maybe not lazy, but he's not the same Nakamura as he was in New Japan.
There's the strong style?
There's the WWE style. Kenny's obviously not going to be he's not going to be spamming V-triggers. They might ban the One-Wing Angel. I don't know exactly what they're going to do with him there. I don't think he's going to go to WWE. I think he's going to go to APW because...
APW?
Maybe he'll go to APW? AEW? Maybe he will. Like... New Japan and ROH still have their thing going, but I think New Japan, their contract with ROH ends up after April, which is after the Madison Square Garden show. So what they'll do is they'll probably, knock off that, and they'll maybe sign up with AEW. And if Kenny signs with AEW and whatever, he can go back to New Japan. And by that time, it's like April, May, whatever. He does double. He can do Double or Nothing, and he can go to Dominion. He can do New Japan stuff after that.
It's not gonna happen though. The thing
It's gonna happen.
It's going
New Japan's
to
working
happen.
with ROH.
They did not just say what I just said.
But ROH is working with New Japan. They got a partnership, and then New Japan is like, this is a company that already exists. We're gonna work with them instead of a company that hasn't even started yet. So,
But ROH, I mean, let's be honest. ROH is the real competition right now. Everyone's talking about AEW versus WWE. Right now, it's AEW versus ROH because they're on the similar path. And if AEW can get some big TV deal, if they go to TBS or TNT or something like that, then that's huge get for them. And then if New Japan realizes that, I mean, who does ROH really realistically have that's a big star and are doing things right now?
Marty Scurll. That's it.
What's Marty Scurll going to be after MSG? He's going to All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah. So Ring of Honor, legit, they're effed. They
know it. They know it.
I mean, could they build PCO? Sure, but how old is he? In his late 40s to early 50s.
He's in his 50s.
He was a Quebecer, in the late 80s and early 90s.
I am watching 98 Raws right now, and PCO is on almost every episode.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Going back to the WWE with Kenny getting signed with them, how do you think the talent backstage is going to feel? Knowing that this guy got, the biggest deal ever from the company with all creative rights towards him and all that stuff. How do you think the heat is going to get?
A lot of people have creative rights. Look at the New Day. They're out there throwing pancakes around.
Yeah, but, getting paid well as well.
God forbid a wrestler makes a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, look at a lot of these guys. They still have a job, and they're just sitting in the back eating catering and getting paid for it.
Yeah.
Come on.
But one of the things Cody said, everybody's going to get paid well in AEW. So those guys are probably just going to jump ships.
I mean, there are some guys they do a little spring cleaning every year. So we're going to see who's going to get kicked out.
Who's going to get got.
Who's going to get got, who's going to get a pink slip. We're going to see in a few months. And then we're going to see, oh, yeah, I could realistically see this guy going to AEW. Or, hell, maybe all of whoever gets a pink slip, they all go to AEW. Hell, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. There's always that one who gets one where you're like, really? What? Them? When Cody got a pink slip, I'm like, I thought he had a job for life. And then I'm like, oh, he's going to join the Bullet Club, and look at where we are now. So you never know.
Well, we kind of talked about it. Maybe the way AEW can compete with WWE is if they become the wrestlers' company, and they kind of talked about it a little bit. Everyone's going to get paid fairly. Everyone's going to get paid well. There's rumors about them getting health care. Some other things might be going back and forth.
Wrestling union.
So, if AEW is, the best place to work, it might not be the biggest company, but if it's the best place to work, you get, it's kind of like WCW, but even better because you get limited dates. You're going to get some benefits to it. And then WWE, I mean, people know that if you go to WWE, you have to please Vince McMahon, and if Vince McMahon's not happy, then you're not going to do anything. So, yeah.
Here's one thing I thought about. If Kenny goes to WWE for 2, 3, 4 years, then goes to AEW, imagine the booking for Kenny. He could go up against everybody. You're oh, you screwed us. Now we have to go. You betrayed us when we started. You weren't here for us when we started the company, and you went to the rival company. Now you're coming back to us, and it just could be a feud with everybody in the Elite.
That's fine.
That seems like a good booking to me. But
rehash Cody versus Kenny. That's cool. I'm chill with it.
Kenny versus the Bucks. Kenny versus Marty. Kenny versus Paige.
Yeah. Kenny versus
finally
Pac.
gets Kenny versus Ibushi.
Yeah.
Because maybe Kota Ibushi goes to AEW. Who exactly knows? Because Kota Ibushi he does whatever he wants. He's the wind, and we're just following him because we cannot predict where he's going.
Exactly. Tiger Mask W again next year. I mean, this season this year in New Japan.
All right. We've been going 38 minutes, and it's all been AEW talk.
As it should. This is
big news. No,
biggest story of the year.
Yes.
She'll get AEW
and this is
shirts.
The 9th day of the new year.
It's been quite the year for wrestling
already.
Far. Yeah, it's been the whole week.
AEW could honestly be the biggest story of 2018 and 2019.
Yeah. All right. Last thing on outside of the ring, WWE Tag Team Championships are going to be altered a little bit. They're going to be getting an altercation on the side where you can have custom side plates for the tag team. That's the news there.
They need to alter it by having just one tag team belt.
That's what I'm saying, man. One tag championship, one woman's championship.
So
We don't need tag team women's titles.
I had
Too
a
many
hard,
titles.
I had a hard time keeping up with the tag teams in both brands back when it was one title. When Carlito and Primo unified the tag team championships.
Oh, that was great. WrestleMania 25.
Yeah, that was a great Mania, by the way. But I had a hard time. It was like, oh, they're still a tag team? I thought they got fired. No. That's my problem with that.
Nah, it's fine. Like,
But having
too many championships.
But having two titles, tag team titles in each brand,
Dude.
you see the same tag teams going for the same belt.
Dude, no, look at it. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, NXT UK, and when they add the women. That's 5 sets of tag team championships. That's a lot of tag team titles.
Why don't you let the NXT people go out for the Raw and SmackDown titles?
They have to get called up for that.
They could just do it. Make NXT.
I'm a fan of an invasion angle, honestly.
That's what I'm thinking. NXT is like better than Raw.
Yeah.
And SmackDown.
Hot take over there.
It's true.
Flaming.
I mean, I'd rather watch.
You're the NXT guy. You're the
New
black.
episode coming this week.
You're the black and gold brand over here.
Mm-hmm.
I bleed red and blue.
I love SmackDown, but
Black and yellow. Shout out Wiz Khalifa.
Hey.
oh
and,
my
and
god,
Mia Khalifa. What?
Oh, whoa,
Whoa.
hey, whoa. All right.
she hates wrestling.
Yeah, Mia Khalifa and her adult films and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of adult activities, this day in wrestling, 13 years ago, Edge and Lita's live sex celebration.
Wow,
That's a hell of a transition. I did not even.
Wow.
Hey! I
I-
told you, I'm the Segway King.
We don't even have scripts.
I know. Also, Ruby Riott, she is 28 years old today. Shout out Ruby.
Shout out Mrs. Wright. Miss
Yes.
Wright?
Miss Riott.
Miss Wright.
That's right. Yes, Edge and Christian are apparently big fans of Ruby Riott. All right, let's get into the...
Maybe she should go to AEW.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. All of them.
Oh.
Whole Riot Squad.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get into this fan mail real quick. X80 Brand. If Brandon and Phillip were a tag team, what would their name be?
I don't know.
Los Ingobernables no, Los Cochinos de Michoacán. Bellies on backs.
I'm not Mexican.
Chocolatey caramel.
Hey,
Yeah.
salt and pepper.
The bilingual Pringle. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. All right. Anyway, next up, Jack of all trades. What's one thing you guys really want to accomplish with this podcast?
I'm trying to make some money, bro. I'm gonna be real. Let's we gotta let's get some sponsorships.
Yeah.
Let's get some,
Like financial, like
get some mid rolls.
I'd love to get paid. Yeah, most likely.
Make it rain.
Making it rain on these people.
Oh.
Yes. But I think one of the things I want to do is like a Bullet Cast Live. Like we get I don't know, like a couple hundred people in a venue, and we just have a panel with people, man.
Bruce Pritchard, watch out.
Bruce Pritchard, you better watch out, man. I'm coming for you and Conrad, man. Yeah,
How about Sam Roberts?
I love Sam Roberts.
He said he's the Podfather.
No, he didn't. That was Peter Rosenberg.
Oh, my bad.
That was Pete
You
and
need
I.
to trademark that.
Pete and I, we cool. We had a
You need to
discussion about
trademark
it.
that, my friend.
No, but yeah, Bulletcast Live, I'd love to do something like that. I get like a Mick Foley or Mick and Noel or something like that. Just get a couple.
Just Noel.
Wow.
Noel Foley?
Her father's a hardcore legend, dude. You gotta have Mick. Gotta have jolly old Saint Mick.
I mean, he could be backstage.
Wow, that's.
You can
that's
set
good.
him on the
Get
other
Frank
side.
the Clown.
Nah, just Noel.
No, I mean I'd love to have something like that where we just sit down and you get to ask these wrestlers questions and get to have a couple legends on there and talk about like backstage stories and get to ask some questions that you don't normally hear answers to. I think
We can
that'd
get
be really
Batista.
fun.
We can finally ask the question we've all been waiting for.
What questions?
You know what the question is.
What questions?
You know what it is.
Corey
Oh.
Marty's party.
Oh yeah. How big is your? Moving on from that, ladies and gentlemen, who 420?
Who do?
Who do you guys want to see signed to AEW who hasn't yet? We already answered that. We already
Okada. RVD.
Kota Ibushi.
RVD.
420 it, bro.
Wow.
I'll be honest.
Keep it lit.
I was
As
when I was watching the live stream, and I think it was when Adam Page when Pac entered. I thought I heard RVD. I was like, wait a minute, is RVD about to come out? But no, it was Pac.
Dude, sign Raven and Tommy Dreamer.
Wait,
Get that 3-year-long feud in AEW, bro.
was he the only one walking out with trunks?
And that's I also love that Pac showed up.
He was
just
in
his-
gear. He was ready to go.
he was
I
ready.
was like, wait, what's going on?
That's
Everybody-
commitment to the character, bro. Woo woo woo.
Zack Ryder.
Oh, he could use it. Oh my god.
Him and
Kurt
Kurt
Hawkins, that's the tag team right there.
Zach and Kurt versus the Young Bucks. I mean, come on.
Bro, Zach and Kurt have like major heat with Sam Roberts over this whole toy collecting thing. It's a very fast.
I mean, listen to the Zach and Kurt Hawkins podcast on wrestling figures. I don't, but I follow him on Instagram. He plugs it all the time. So.
Yeah, it's
Marty plugs it too.
This could be like the rivalry of the year.
I listened to one podcast where Zack Ryder talked about Disneyland or Disney World. It's all about amusement parks. It's very interesting.
I have very interesting feelings about Disney World and Disneyland, and if you support that, I have very interesting feelings about
that. I love I love Disney World. Actually, Disneyland is much better. I mean, let's be honest, OG out here. Disneyland's much better than Disney World.
I mean, watch the Watch Mojo video, 10 Reasons Why Walt Disney was terrible.
There's so many.
Something like that. It really opens your eyes, kids.
There's so many nightmare fan theories of Disneyland.
Like, that's what also I love. I love the conspiracy theories. I love all the little things that are associated with
the early cartoons, hatred towards African Americans and Jews. Like, really, you support this?
I mean, that has nothing to do with the Disney of
I mean,
you can go back, to anything really, and just be like, oh, you did this thing 50 years ago, so screw you.
Looney Tunes did that stuff too.
I mean, we're talking about WWE right now. I mean, what kind of things have they done with African Americans and other minority leaders and other minority
We've had
groups?
black world champions, so we cool.
But you had Crime Time.
When was the last legit black world champion? 2011?
Mark Henry.
Mark Henry.
2011.
All right. Somebody don't get their ass kicked. What?
They should push Big E or Xavier Woods
or Velveteen Dream.
Kobe.
Speaking of an African-American wrestler, to open up Monday Night Raw, Bobby Lashley and then Seth Rollins have a brawl. See what I did there?
Yeah, and it gave me a headache because the camera was shaking and going all over the place.
Terrible camera angles.
It felt realistic because it felt like you were watching World Star.
Anything can happen in the world of WWE.
They just need
somebody World Star isn't recording with like a $10,000 camera.
Yeah, they're recording with a crappy ass
sidekick.
Yeah, sidekick, yeah.
A prepaid sidekick.
Yeah, or some Android phone because a kid has an Android and their parents don't love them.
And it's vertical.
Yeah, shut up, Blackberries. Yeah, so that opens up Raw.
Shout out Halle Berry.
Oh my god.
Sorry on the Golden Globes.
Yeah, Halle Berry, that's my favorite fruit. Whoa, hey, whoa. Alright, yeah, so like I said, this opens up Monday Night Raw. It's a big brawl. And then Big Match John's music hits. He comes out there. He cuts a promo. He says he's entering the Royal Rumble. He says he knows what it's like to be left off WrestleMania, even though he got a match last year, and he doesn't want that to happen again. And then the Chosen One, the Scottish Terminator, Drew McIntyre, comes out there, and it's a classic. Big Match John is out there cutting a promo, and the next guy in line, or the next Chosen One, so to speak, is going at him. Drew says he doesn't give a damn about his haircut, and I think Cena looks very stylish. JBL adjacent.
But then you turn around and you see the
bald
spot back there.
Hey, man.
Shawn Michaels had one for the longest too.
I mean, Hulk Hogan had one of the best runs of all time with a halo around his head. So
true.
Yes, Hogan was on the show.
But he ain't no angel,
and we're going to talk about that. All right. Yes. So, and then this leads to a brawl with Rollins and Balor and Lashley and Ambrose and all these guys, and it leads to a 6-man tag team match where Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, John Cena defeat the Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre.
Good match. Sets up, Seth Rollins, who seems like he's going to get big things coming his way the next few months.
Big things.
So, he beats the guy he's feuding with, which sets up the match later. So, I mean, it was fine for what it was, exactly what you would think, a 6-man with all these big names in it. So everyone get their spots in, don't get hurt. It was fine. It was field time.
It was probably one of the best 6-man tag match of the year.
Hot take.
This is probably the only one.
I know. That's why I'm saying it.
This was the best and the worst Raw of 2019.
So far.
Yes. We're going to get that lull period going in after SummerSlam. Just wait, boys.
I mean, I felt that low period with Braun's promo this week.
We'll get into that.
Bro, I thought you were like Braun's biggest fan. Don't you have like a cutout of him in your room?
Hell yeah. Nicholas right there holding the title.
Well, why do you have a cutout of a child in your room, bro?
Yeah, it's the WrestleMania one. He has him like right here.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah. So,
okay.
Triple H and Rollins, they have a backstage promo.
Okay, one thing is who was the jabroni who just put up the shot of Triple H talking to Sasha and Bailey on the Tron for like no goddamn reason?
Kevin Dunn.
That made no sense. Like, why, after Seth Rollins wins, you put up a video of Triple H talking to people who have nothing to do with Seth Rollins? And then it gets Seth Rollins like really angry for some reason.
Dude, I have no idea. You know, I don't know why that happened. I honestly don't. It was dumb. It's the beginning of 2019. We're already messing up. Come on, man.
WWE, what you expect?
Man,
Hot takes.
that wasn't a hot take.
What it is to me.
That
It
wasn't.
wasn't
a
as
hot
hot
take.
as NXT's better.
That was like
SmackDown.
that wasn't even lukewarm. It was like cold.
I'm just getting started.
That's fresh
okay?
out the fridge.
Yeah.
I'm just getting started.
Anyway, so yeah, Hunter and Rollins have a backstage promo. Hunter's like, "You got your match and welcome back." I guess that fires back in
They're doing the
Rollins'
same.
eyes.
They're doing the same story as AJ and Seth apparently.
Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, when it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, that music hits. Hulk Hogan comes back to Monday Night Raw. He's on WWE, American WWE TV, and he is paying tribute to the late, great, Mean Gene Okerlund. First of all, I didn't talk to you guys last week. How'd you guys feel when you heard about the passing of Mean Gene Okerlund?
Shocking, especially. It was like New Year, and you're like,
Bam! A big one's already gone.
Yeah, and then no, it's like Triple H says, he's the voice of a
He's the soundtrack of an era.
yeah, basically. I mean,
almost two eras: Monday Night Wars and the 80s,
Yeah.
and AWA.
Yeah.
I mean, so like the three biggest promotions the last like 50 years he's been a part of.
Yeah.
I think the last time he was on TV was with AJ.
Yeah, that was his last televised appearance, and AJ said, "Let me tell you something, Mean Gene," calling back to Hogan's countless promos with him, and that's going to be one of our promo picks of the week. What were your thoughts on it?
You know, it was shocking because I didn't hear anything about Mean Gene being in poor health. I was actually shocked that he was only like 76. I would have thought he was older than that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, when someone dies and he's, you know, the greatest, whatever you call him,
Interviewer?
backstage interviewer, announcer person of all time, you know, obviously it's sad to see someone pass away, but it's also a nice time to reflect and just see how great he was, which
Yes.
we will get into later on the
Yes.
promo pick of the week.
So, people had a problem with Hogan being on Raw. For this case, it's acceptable. You know, he's paying homage to a guy that really helped his career, character-wise, and so Hogan's talking about how Mean Gene's up there with Ultimate Warrior and Randy Savage and Roddy Piper and Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon, and hearing all those names is like that golden era of wrestling is like gone. Like and he talked about Andre too, but like who's left? Hogan and who's another
Like
eight?
Jake the Snake, but he wasn't even like a big deal, to be honest.
Yeah, Jake the Snake's around.
John Gonzalez, Doink.
John Gonzalez is dead.
I know. Just coming up with names from the 80s.
John Gonzalez. He was really.
I mean, Lex Luger's still here.
Oh my.
The Lex Express. I saw the bus driving down to Sperry on my way in to record, baby. Yep. Yeah, but this was a fitting tribute for Mean Gene.
I think it went as probably as good, or maybe even like this is like the best case scenario. I think Hogan was perfect. He didn't put anything on himself. He talked about Mean Gene most of the time. He didn't try to get himself over. He didn't try to shed light on what's been going on. He just kind of stuck to talk about Mean Gene, didn't talk about himself. I thought it was great.
Yep. Sweet, simple, and to the point. All right, moving on from that, LeBron Strowman has a promo segment with Paul Heyman and the Beast Incarnate. Ooh, God, that was a. Ooh. The Universal Champion Brock Lesnar.
And the split screen.
The split screen, oh yeah.
Oh, that was beautiful.
In the new age of WWE, there's split screen interviews. And
One
promos.
backstage and one in the ring.
Oh, of course, that's how you have to do it. Anyway, Strowman baits Lesnar to come out there. Lesnar comes out there, just walks around the ring with that big red strap. Thoughts, comments, concerns?
I thought this was hot garbage. I mean, the Paul Heyman delivery was good, but then Braun Strowman's promo work was, I thought, terrible. And then they do the back and forth, and like Braun is looking into the camera, even though it's like not a FaceTime. So why is he looking at the camera? Why doesn't he look up at the Tron? And then he had like awkward pauses, and like the timing was off, and and then Brock Lesnar comes out and has that that S eating grin on his face. No cursing. I'm trying to contain myself here. That he just walked around the ring. He did all that, and he got paid more than any of us will see in like the next 10 years.
So, I used to question why Braun didn't get the title for the longest.
And it was also stupid that why didn't Braun just run after Brock?
Yeah, but for the longest I was like, why don't they put the title on this guy? And I can see why, because Braun is not there. Like, promo-wise, I was like, you're terrible.
I mean, how many times have I said on this podcast that Braun shouldn't be on every single show? He should just be Andre the Giant. You can parade him out there for big matches. You can have him do every single house show if you want. I don't care about that. But for Raws or Smackdowns, don't have him on, every single time. You can have him on, dark matches, but don't have him on TV and expose him for being a one-trick pony.
How about if Braun, the roles would flip around? I can see Braun being like a force to be reckoned with. Like, not have him talk at all, just go over there and flip things.
I mean, he's already flipped stuff.
I mean, are we going to see a heel turn by the end of the year? Because I think, I'm not saying it's run its course, but I just don't know where you go from here with Braun.
Give him a manager or something like that.
He's not getting better in the ring. He's probably got as best as he can. His promo work is fine, but it can only go so far. He can't cut, long promos, which honestly is another subject. They shouldn't be long promos, but
I heard there's issues backstage with him too, like showing up too late to work and stuff like that.
Braun Strowman to All Elite Wrestling.
I was gonna say that too. That was one of my picks.
What's his name gonna be? His real name's like Adam.
Adam
Strowman. There you go. Instead of Braun, he'd be like Adam
Braun Man.
Bearded giant guy.
I mean, his shoot names are pretty. It's like what, like Adam Scherzer or something. It's like it's a decent name. It's a decent wrestling name.
Or just Braun, just one name, like Madonna or Cher, just Braun.
Cody, one name.
Yep. I still think he should have his legal last name, which is.
It says Dream on his chest.
That's a whole thing. All right,
he's gonna have to go the Ultimate Warrior route. Just change his last name.
Ryback. That was one of my picks too.
That was no.
Ryback versus Goldberg dream match.
No. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, that'd be a cluster F.
That'd be a barn burner, baby.
It'd be fun to see, even though it would have no business having.
Somebody's gonna get botched, and somebody's gonna get like a potato.
It would be like Seth Rollins' theme, and it would burn it down all the way down to the ground. But, ladies and gentlemen, the world premiere of the live moment of bliss. I was so excited for this, man. Miss Alexa Bliss, her first guest is the Raw Women's Champion, Rowdy Ronda Rousey. Rousey talks about who she wants next, and she says Sasha Banks. I'm like, okay, that's a fine match. Nia Jax comes out there, and this promo's exchange between Jax and Banks, and then Banks calls her a biatch, and Nia's like, I'm not a biatch, I'm the biatch. I'm like, oh, okay, you do you, boo. You get a girlfriend. And then we get a match between Banks and Nia. Winner gets Rousey at the Rumble. And my girl, Sasha Banks, takes it home.
Ronda Rousey to AEW. Calling it now.
No. No. She's too big of a star.
Misha Tate to AEW. Paige Van Zandt. Karate Hottie. Cyborg. Amanda Nunes. All of them go to AEW.
Holly Holm.
Maria Menounos, whatever her name is.
Ooh, I love Maria Menounos.
Oh, she's so hot.
I know.
Okay. Anyways, back to the subject.
She just got over cancer, so congratulations to her.
Cheers.
So Ronda versus Sasha, I thought like Ronda just randomly calling out Sasha was a little weird. It just kind of came out of nowhere. They didn't really build her up, but I thought it was nice that they had this match to kind of build up Sasha. As I said, it kind of came out of nowhere, but I think if you're going to do it, you need to kind of do it in the next 3 weeks to get her some wins and build up some credibility against Ronda, which I think they did. In the end, I think Ronda's winning, so
they just don't want Sasha in the Rumble again.
But then it just shows, like, okay, they want these women tag team championships, and yet, like, one of the top ones is Sasha and Bayley, and I said this on Under the Radar, that I think Sasha and Bayley are much more deserving to just be singles people than in a tag team.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you want to do these whole tag team women,
I mean, we're going to have Iconics versus the Riot Squad for the next 6 months? No, thank you.
Yeah, you can bring the Bellas back or whatever, yada, yada, yada. You can have Absolution with Mandy Rose, she's been stirring up the pot on SmackDown. We got to talk about that. We got to spill that tea.
Spill the beans.
No, we spilling tea out here. It's 2019, bro. We spilling tea.
I spill beans.
No comment. So yeah, Rousey versus Banks. I'm looking forward to that match at the Royal Rumble. All right, so the main event is an Intercontinental Championship Falls Count Anywhere match. Seth Rollins tries to reclaim the championship from his former Shield brother, Dean Ambrose, and in an unsuccessful fashion because Bobby Lashley gets involved, spears Seth, beats the holy hell out of him. Ambrose pins him, and then Lashley, after the match, puts Rollins through a table.
I mean, you kind of saw it coming when it was a no disqualification, false count anywhere match. So you knew they were going to do some sort of shenanigans to get Seth Rollins to lose. I mean, I like the feud right now between Seth and Bobby. It's fine for what it is. I don't think we need to see them have a match on Raw. I think just building it up, having one of those feuds layered inside the Royal Rumble so we can have that moment of Seth tossing him out. Obviously, you know, just tossing someone over the top rope isn't as satisfying as them beating them, but, you know, just these little steps that Seth can take to possibly win in the Royal Rumble.
Oh yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, Dean is also in the Royal Rumble too, so he might toss out both of them. Who knows?
Yeah. You know, Seth gets to come up and on Lashley and tosses him out, then Dean tosses out Rollins, costing him.
Then San Almas comes out of nowhere and throws Ambrose out and wins it.
No.
Or R-Truth. My bad.
Yeah, R-Truth is going to come in like a
dance break, guys.
I know. The dance break after he wins and he points at that WrestleMania sign, R-Truth in the main event of WrestleMania.
No pyro comes out. No pyro.
Oh, no, they'll bust out the pyro for this one.
Nah.
R-Truth in the main event of WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. I mean, he's a former NWA champion, guys. Let's not forget.
He wrestled for the title in Capital Punishment.
Ron Killings is the truth. He's not just R-Truth, he is the truth, fam.
What's up?
Kathy Kelly posted a photo on Instagram that R-Truth and Carmella made their long-awaited trip to the studios. Or the
they went to Stamford, Connecticut?
They went to Stamford, so hopefully on SmackDown we'll see some shenanigans.
Okay, I'm glad they finally made it to Stamford, you know. I was supposed to take a trip up there, and it did not happen. Speaking of SmackDown, let's talk about the WWE Champion, the new Daniel Bryan. And this promo in the concession area of the arena and by the merchandise table. I mean, DB's your guy. Take us through it.
Well, Daniel Bryan, we start off in the concession area, and he just goes ballistic talking about, you know, processed foods and plastic cups and plastic straws, and he goes one by these fans who are definitely fans and not plants or independent wrestlers. He goes one by one and throws stuff in their face, and I thought this was a fantastic segment, probably one of the better, maybe the best segment from Daniel Bryan's new character, just because he was speaking truth, but he was really going over the edge and, you know, being that, you know, crazy lunatic who, yes, we understand that you're trying to help us, or not help us, but you're trying to say these things that have truth to them, but the way you're delivering them is way over the top and you're dealing it in the wrong way.
Daniel Bryan would not approve of you drinking this.
So?
Glucose, citric acid, fickle!
What's this? Tap water in a reusable bottle.
Well, hug a tree.
Look, man, Daniel Bryan makes me want to change the way I live my life. No longer will I drink out of plastic bottles.
New me.
Okay, Tama Tonga, calm down.
No, New Year, same-ish. But seriously, man, I don't want to drink out of plastic bottles anymore. I don't want to drink out of plastic cups and plastic straws. You know, let's get steel reusable straws and let's save the earth, man.
Well, isn't paper
I'm
straws
glad
the new
that
thing
Daniel
now in
Bryan
California
inspired you guys, but Tama Tonga inspired me to be a good guy.
He's a bad boy.
No, he's a good guy.
He's a bad boy. He's a bad boy. He knows what's up.
Good guy, Tama Tonga.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Bryan threw soda. I'm glad that guy was a plant, because actually, you know what? What if they just went off script and threw that actual fan?
I'm gonna be honest. Like, I think it was the one with the hot dogs. Those two guys, they are probably related to the Usos in some way. I mean, they're in Florida. They look like some Samoan.
Yeah,
they look like some Samoan that's related to somebody.
Yeah, they were in. They knew what was going on. But anyway, it leads to Daniel Bryan making his way down to the arena and getting attacked by R-Truth, and them having a match, and Daniel Bryan beats him with the running knee.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Fine match.
Obviously, Daniel Bryan should beat R-Truth. I know people like R-Truth, but Daniel Bryan.
I love Truth.
Especially with him losing to Ali a few weeks ago. He's not rebuild, but he needs to beat these type of people.
Yeah, and then AJ Styles assaults Daniel Bryan after his match.
Hey, that was a great beat trigger from Daniel Bryan, though.
That wasn't a V trigger. It was a running knee.
It was a V trigger.
No, it wasn't. Now, Mandy Rose?
Ronda Rousey has a V trigger.
Mandy Rose, better knee than Kenny Omega. I'm saying it right
I'm
now.
going to say Aleister Black's V trigger. It's very good. Might be better than Kenny's. It might be.
Guys, it is a jumping knee. It's not a V
Or a
trigger.
running knee.
I like Triple
Running
H's V trigger.
Step
better.
up knee. It's a step up knee. That's what it's called.
It's a step up knee. Yes, it's not a V trigger.
Triple H's V trigger is better though.
That's not a V trigger. That is a jumping knee adopted from Harley Race.
Harley Race's V trigger is better than. He's a pioneer.
Dude, like, you can't call it a V trigger. You have to call it what the move actually is. The actions of the move. Now, moving
The
on
Kingslayer, Seth Rollins Kingslayer.
moving on from that.
The rain trigger.
Oh God. Andrade Cien Almas and Samoa Joe go on to defeat Rey Mysterio and Mustafa Ali.
Remember when Mustafa Ali beat Daniel Bryan like 2 weeks ago, and I thought, oh, maybe they'll just have him face Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. Nope, that hasn't happened, and
No.
who knows what they're going to do with Ali.
It's not
I
in
mean,
Japan.
I'm happy he didn't lose, because I would have thought he would have been the fall guy in the situation. He didn't, which I guess is a good sign, but
I guess
It's a sign
wins
of
and
things
losses
to come.
don't matter.
I think it's like a good tag team. Like we talk about, I think I'm more of a proponent of like putting two singles people together than you guys are. Like I like having like even Samoa Joe and Almas just be together as a tag team. They have a little run for a couple months, maybe have a title run, but I thought this was fun. I wouldn't be shocked, or I would be happy if we see these two tag teams in the division.
They've put two singles people together. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on.
Maybe
Nothing beats RVD and Rey Mysterio though.
RVD and Kane.
Kane and Daniel Bryan.
RVD and Kane was much better.
No, it wasn't. We saw
Booker
Big
T
Show and
told
The
us.
Undertaker.
Scorpio Sky at the anger management classes. SCU forever.
SCU!
He's still traumatized about that.
I know.
So I heard.
Wait, we're NCU. What am I doing? I'm sorry. NCU!
Oh God.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on from this, Rusev is a promo talking about how Lana was hurt last week in the brawl with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Rusev needs to stop being a diva.
He is a total diva. Anyway, so Rusev goes to the back to find Nakamura. Nakamura attacks him and all this other stuff. So they're continuing their United States Championship feud.
I actually like this a lot. I thought Rusev kind of dropping the silliness and being serious for a change was nice. He can be silly and he can be entertaining, but now that he flipped that switch and he's like anger Rusev again, now he can play both sides and he can be funny and serious at the same time. So I thought it was a nice little wrinkle to his personality, because ever since he's done the whole Rusev Day thing, he's been kind of kooky and weird. So I think getting like serious Rusev back is nice to see. And I mean, this is this gonna be at the Royal Rumble? Is this gonna be in the Royal Rumble match? I don't exactly know.
Happy Rusev Day, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Happy Rusev Day.
Yes. Alright, moving on from that, the Usos and The Bar have a really awesome match. If the Usos beat The Bar, then they become number one contenders for the tag team titles. That does not happen because God's greatest gift, Mandy Rose, makes an appearance in the towel. She was asking Jimmy, did she leave her gold shorts in her hotel, in his hotel room? And I was like, hey-o!
So she's like Pac. She just wears her gear everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
you never know when a fight's gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly. You never know when you got to be ready to...
Hardcore title, 24 hours.
Oh, bring it back. I'd love it.
You
And
just said no more titles, and now you want the hardcore title.
Oh, well, that's...
How about Tommy Dreamer's hardcore title?
No, we do not speak of that. That was a license plate.
That's awesome.
No, it wasn't. Anyway, so yeah, this results in The Bar defeating the Usos, and then Miz comes out there to issue the challenge to The Bar about he and Shane McMahon, because Miz and Shane McMahon are the best tag team in the world. And The Bar accepts. So these are two singles guys coming together.
Yeah, and I do like the dynamic between Miz and Shane. Obviously, it's probably going to blow up sometime before WrestleMania. I would like it to be Shane McMahon turning heel. Honestly, I think Miz being a babyface, kind of an underdog babyface, would be a nice little change up there. I think everyone just assumes Miz is going to turn on Shane, but I think it's fun for right now, and I think the best turns are when you don't want it to happen.
Yes.
So I think people are growing on this team.
Alright, then after this, Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose have a quick little brawl with Naomi backstage, and Jimmy Uso's like, yeah, y'all better back up. So I thought that was,
I mean, it's a fine undercard feud, but I mean, where's it going? We're just going to get Mandy Rose and
we're going to
Naomi?
get Mandy Rose and Jimmy Uso like in bed pics. That's the real DM.
It just brings me back to
An accidental on purpose leak.
no. What's Adam
If it's gonna come calling?
and Lana?
Too soon.
We're going down the gutter right
Yeah,
now.
we are. All right, Daniel Bryan has a quick backstage promo talking about how AJ's not going to beat him and all this other stuff.
Fire.
Fire, absolutely. I love the new Daniel Bryan. All right, and then we have the main event of the man Becky Lynch, the Queen Charlotte Flair, and the Queen of the Dance Break, Carmella. Winner faces oh my God,
Oksana?
no,
Oksana to AEW.
Oksana to AEW.
I haven't seen Oksana in a while. I love
miss
her.
her.
Where the hell is she gone?
Yeah,
She was
sorry.
pretty fine.
I almost choked on my gum. Faces Asuka at the Royal Rumble for the SmackDown Live Women's title. And the man, Becky Lynch,
AEW
picks up
just
the
going there.
win.
I mean, I actually really liked the build up to this match. All three women had their own little sit down interview telling why they should win and why they are going to win. Carmella kind of going back to her heelish demeanor was a little awkward, but it is what it is. But I thought Becky winning was interesting because this kind of sets up a whole different things you can do. Do you have Becky win? So you have Charlotte win the Royal Rumble and challenge both of them? Do you have Becky lose, but then she goes and wins the Royal Rumble and charges Rhonda? I mean, you can do maybe Nia Jax wins the Royal Rumble and challenges Becky. I mean, this kind of sets up going into a Royal Rumble that they can go in any which direction, which is fun.
Yes, absolutely. I'm excited for Lynch and Asuka. Do I know who's going to win? No, I don't. I'll make that prediction when it's time to make predictions.
In 2 weeks.
Yes. All right, Superstar Spotlight. Everybody involved with the AEW Double or Nothing rally. That's my pick.
I mean, I was going to pick someone from AEW.
Oh.
I mean, but if it's got to be...
Shoot your shot,
I
kid.
mean, if it's going to be one person, I mean, I'll go with Chris Jericho. It was we kind of knew it was going to happen, but with Chris Jericho, kind of the biggest signing they have right now, it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here, and if he's going to, lead them, and he's going to be able to get some of those, the lapse fans or some casual fans at AEW, and maybe once he gets a little older, maybe he phased out of that wrestling role, and maybe he'll be like, Tiger Tori, or he can be Ghetto and just be the
Booker.
The Booker.
Oh. All right.
So I'm picking Kenny Omega for his entrance. It was beautiful.
That music was, I'm gonna be honest, that music was trash. I would have much rather had his regular music.
Hey, Hopes and Dreams. It was great for
That-
Final
that-
Battle.
it did not
It's
get-
from Undertale, the game, and it's like a Final Battle.
I don't care,
Music.
and that music did not get me hyped up at all.
Oh, I got a lot of people hyped up.
Didn't get me hyped up.
I popped for that.
I mean,
At 3 in the morning.
only one good thing happened on January 4th. My coming into the world. Yeah. I said it. All right, promo pick of the week. Brandon, take it away.
So my promo pick of the week is from Saturday night's main event, 1987. I decided to do some sort of Mean Gene inspired promo. So this is backstage at Saturday night's main event. We have the coming together of the Mega Powers, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Hulk Hogan going back and forth. It's real quick. It's like 2.5 minutes. I think it's on... I don't even know if it's on WWE's official web on YouTube, but you can go check it out. My other one that I was going to pick, I can't remember if I picked this one or not before. It was they showed this on the tribute, the Hulk Hogan, Mean Gene Okerlund, video package where they're like getting ready to fight Mr. Fuji in Minneapolis. I forgot if I talked about that before, but definitely go and check that one. I think WWE just put up the full official thing of it a couple days ago after Mean Gene's passed, so you can go look that up as well.
Yeah, I mean, this promo, I watched it this morning. It's great. It's the forming of the Mega Powers, and it starts the beginnings of possibly the greatest story ever told in professional wrestling. The Mega Powers coming together, and they disband, all for Elizabeth, and all at WrestleMania 5 for the WWF Championship. It's amazing.
And it also just kind of shows what Mean Gene would do. He'd be there, he'd set it up, he'd be there in the background, put in a little bit of his own little things, but for the most part, he would just let the people go, and he would put his own things when need be.
Yeah, I mean, there's countless Mean Gene stuff you can go and listen to.
I mean, maybe go out there, we said this before, go out and find your own local, your local area and find, localized WWF promos.
Yeah, you could find some stuff like Mean Gene put that cigarette out, or, look at all the trash in this ring when Hogan turns and goes NWO for life, brother.
Or when the WWF logo falls off and he cusses on pay-per-view.
That was awesome.
All that was great. All right, the close match pick of the week, the Macho Man Randy Savage versus Andre the Giant for the WWF Championship in 1988. It was the 80s. It's exactly how you think this match went. They did some stuff for a few minutes, and then it ended in a disqualification, with Macho Man retaining his WWF Championship.
Yeah, I mean, nothing special to the match. It's the 80s. It has Andre, who's at the tail end of his career, of his life, to be honest.
Yes.
So nothing too fancy here, but just it's more about the ambiance and how over everybody was.
Yes, very true. All right, ladies and gentlemen, follow us on Twitter at BulletCast, Instagram, The BulletCast, YouTube channel, The BulletCast. Email us, BulletCast2 is the number 2, sweet, SWET at gmail.com. 99.9 FM KW in Watsonville. iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn,
Still on
Google
there? We
Play.
haven't gotten kicked off yet?
No, we haven't. We're still running strong. 9 to 10 every Friday night. iHeartRadio is where we are. We have a new logo. We're trying to be different. We're trying to shake things up again in the world of digital media audio. My championship will be defended on the 27th of January for the Royal Rumble. I'm at 32 days right now. I'm looking for another 100-day reign. We'll see. Yeah, so that giveaway I was talking about, and we're going to be giving away a wrestling poster. Stay tuned to follow us on Instagram so you can find out all the information on that. And this has been a fun recording, guys.
Yeah, we talked like a half hour, 40 minutes, just about AEW.
Yes, 1 hour and 16. Oh my God, we're a real podcast.
I know.
The longest podcast we have ever done.
Is it?
This is
I feel like a WrestleMania one went pretty long.
No, that was like I remember that one was like 45 minutes.
Oh, Pearl was really short. I mean,
yeah.
Too many steel chair shots, you know what I'm saying?
Too many. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Goodbye. Have a nice day.
Cody Rhodes representing the Bullet Club. This has been a Bullet Cast. Thank you for listening.